Welcome to another episode of Trial Site News. On today's show, we'll be talking about Canada's Vaccine Injury Support Program for the COVID-19 vaccine injured. They've processed a mere 50 claims so far for roughly $2.8 million. A snail's pace, but sadly still much faster than the pathetic countermeasures injury compensation program that we're saddled with here in the United States. We're going to discuss what is happening north of the American border. And so, from Trial Site News, I am Adrian, and our episode is starting right now. So, we here at Trial Site News have been watching and reporting on the plight of the vaccine injured here in the US and abroad for quite some time now. And of course, we recently covered on this channel one of the very first mainstream media news outlets, Reuters, who finally deigned to dip a toe into this conversation themselves and begin reporting on the plight of the vaccine injured and the abomination that is the Countermeasures Injury Compensation Program here in the US. The CICP is a horribly understaffed and underfunded bureaucratic program for the vaccine injured. It has a mere 8 full-time employees with a 7,500 case count backlog, which up to this point has only processed a paltry 12 cases in the past 2 years. It's outrageous. And only now is it seeming to get any attention. As we covered in our previous episode on this channel, Senator Ron Johnson held an expert panel event that acknowledged that the COVID-19 vaccine injured needed help. While the CDC and the WHO, or the World Health Organization, has released data showing hundreds of safety signals that, although deemed rare, have been identified in adverse event reporting databases for 2 COVID-19 vaccines, and worth watching if you want to know more. So, that being said, let's turn now to Canada and their Vaccine Injury Support Program. Karin Larsen, writing for Canadian Broadcast Corp, otherwise known as the CBC, has reported that Canada has paid out a paltry $2.779 million since the COVID-19 vaccine injury claims started pouring in nearly 20 months ago. As of now, only 50 out of 1,299 claims have been processed as of December 1st, 2022, while 18 claims have been rejected based on the data from the Vaccine Injury Support Program, otherwise known as the VISP website. While 18 claims have been rejected based on the data from the Vaccine Injury Support Program website. Despite this pace, it is still better than Canadians' big neighbor to the south, the United States, has been able to accommodate its citizens with its terrible Countermeasures Injury Compensation Program, for reasons we just discussed. Anyhow, Canada is at least trying to move, albeit at a snail's pace. The Vaccine Injury Support Program covers all Canadians injured by the COVID-19 vaccines except for residents of Quebec, the French-speaking province that maintains their own provincial program. In Canada, with a population of 33.2 million people, the country lost over 49,000 people to SARS-CoV-2, which, of course, is the virus behind COVID-19. Over 96 million doses of the vaccine targeting SARS-CoV-2 has been administered in the country, and given the vaccines were administered during key surges, the authorities such as Health Canada deem the risks associated with the vaccine far less than the virus itself. Now, in Canada, as reported by Canadian Broadcast Corp, claims are processed first with a medical review board, which must assess and determine if there is, in fact, a probable link between the COVID-19 vaccine and a serious and permanent injury. In her article, Karin reveals that much like here in America, vaccine injury claims are managed by a slow, cumbersome bureaucracy, a point of major frustration for the citizens of Canada. One of the first vaccine-injured claimants, Ross Whiteman, told the Canadian Broadcast Corp that, "I know lots of people in the community that I talked to are in a similar boat and are still having trouble. Some are being rejected for various reasons, and others are just simply waiting for any sort of payment or communication from VISP about where their case is at." Now, Ross Whiteman from Lake County, British Columbia, was aged 41 when hospitalized with Guillain-Barré syndrome, or GBS, which was linked to the AstraZeneca Oxford COVID-19 vaccine. He told the Canadian Broadcast Corp that, "I'm told by the program that I am the first person for everything related, so I'm the tip of the sword." And according to the CBC report, he was awarded close to the total maximum amount associated with the Vaccine Injury Support Program, which caps out at $284,000. Which, if you do the math, you'll realize that this claim alone represents nearly 10% of all claim payments to date. And then there is Julian Schofield, based in Summerland, British Columbia, who complained of the VISP process as well. The man is a 45-year-old father of two who is now wheelchair-bound due to a vaccine-induced paralysis after receiving the second dose of the mRNA-based vaccine BNT162b2, otherwise known as Comirnaty, which, of course, was developed by Pfizer-BioNTech in July of 2021. Mr. Schofield filed a claim back in October of 2021 and hasn't yet received either approval or denial. And because of this, he now faces financial ruin as he wasn't able to get back to his job in the winery business while simultaneously his bills piled up. Mr. Schofield was quoted in Karin's article for the CBC saying, "I was assigned a VISP caseworker in December of 2021, and I sent in all my medical receipts and reviews. The details they requested in January of 2022, and since January of 2022, I've been following up on a pretty regular basis, and you either get no response or a delayed response saying to just wait and see." He went on to say that, "We're going into the hole every month. It's been extremely frustrating that I can't do anything about it. I'm caught here in a wheelchair in constant pain and not getting any sort of relief." According to Karin's article from the CBC, Mr. Schofield said he's reached out to multiple levels of government for advice on how to expedite the process without any meaningful response. He said that, "I either get absolutely no response from government or just essentially a form letter back saying thanks for your concern and good luck in the future." Now, as of now, and sad to say, there doesn't seem to be any closure on the matter. According to the article by Karin of the CBC, the Canadian Broadcast Corp reached out to the Vaccine Injury Support Program, but did not receive a reply by deadline. It's truly heartbreaking. And that, my friends, will bring our episode to a close once more. For more stories like this, be sure to check back to this channel daily, Monday through Friday, or numerous written stories daily, 7 days a week at trialsitenews.com. As always, thank you so much for joining me on the program today. From Trial Site News, I am Adrian, and I will see you all next time.